Hello. As promised, I am back with that masculine reading. If you haven't already checked out what ended up being a reading for feminine, divine feminines, it was the last video I posted, and it ended up not really being a card reading, but more channeled messages. That worked out to being kind of how can the divine feminine really be supporting their connection at this time? What work can they be doing? What can they be focusing on? And so this is going to be, because that turned into very divine feminine energy, I have already pulled some cards for divine masculine energy, and we will go into what the divine masculine can be doing at this time to be supporting the connection, as well as kind of tuning into this energy that I've already pulled. So thank you so much for being here. As always, make sure to watch this for your divine masculine energy within, as well as, if you're watching for a counterpart in the external, that's beautiful too. One thing I wanted to say is that Mars is actually in Cancer right now, and I forget how long Mars in Cancer is going to be going on. So this is a very, very uncomfortable placement for Mars, which is the masculine energy. It's the energy that wants to move, wants to go forward, wants to get things done, wants to go, go, go. So some of the ascension symptoms I was speaking about in my last video for the divine feminines, this is partly related to that. Feminines are really going through kind of some tower moments and definitely death energy. And that's actually what's really coming up for the masculines as well. They're more coming out of the tower, and they've more moved into that recuperation, integration phase. A lot of rest, not wanting to leave the cave, right? Feeling very kind of sensitive to the world, not really wanting to come out at this moment, even though they are getting the guidance to come out and step into action and, get into balance and make some moves. Because of that Mars in Cancer placement, it's very challenging. It's just not where Mars wants to be. Cancer is a very, it's a water sign. It's the divine sort of mother energy. It just doesn't like to take action from that place. So it feels like we're kind of moving uphill. Like we're at this point in the journey where we're moving uphill, and the divine feminines are actually being halted. We're being told to just stop. And it's really uncomfortable for us, especially as the Mars and Cancer influence and whatnot. So going through towers and death moments to get us to just stop. And then divine masculines are kind of in this integration of all the tower moments and still being asked to let things go, let things die, and let God in. So really interesting. We're kind of mirroring, but we're kind of in a little bit different points. So this is going to be supportive if you are a divine masculine and you happen to be watching. I'm tuning into your energy specifically today. But if you're a divine feminine, you're curious what's going on with the divine masculine, there might be some wisdom in here for you, as well as if you're watching this for your divine masculine energy within. Okay, all that being said, I've already pulled some cards because I was kind of in a channeling session preparing for this reading, and I really wanted to share with you what I'm getting here. So, what I asked Spirit was, how is the divine masculine experiencing ascension? How have they been experiencing, the ascension process? So, first energy we are getting, oh, I gotta turn my light on. We are getting Four of Wands and clarified by the Five of Cups. So the message here is really strong. It's an awareness of this journey. It's an awareness of this spiritual path that they have been called into, that this has been a part of them their entire lives. They've actually been on this journey without the consciousness or awareness, and this ascension has been pulling them into that awareness of acknowledging that they are, whether they're calling it a twin flame or not, the label is not important. It's more that they are a divine being that came here with a very specific mission, and that they are here to reach higher states of ascension as an advanced spiritual being who is walking on this earth with a counterpart, that there is a counterpart in the world that is basically the other half of them. So there is a deep integration period of this energy, and there is a lot of pain around it, and it's also allowing them to be aware of their previous pain when it comes to relationship, why they haven't had successful marriages, commitments, relationships, why these things haven't worked out for them, why they have experienced this Five of Cups energy when it comes to relationship. So the integration of that has been working through the heart space and the emotions. We are also getting the Seven of Pentacles clarified by the Seven of Cups in reverse. So the seven energy here, the double seven energy here is really interesting to me. The Seven of Pentacles really speaks to having a pause. It's like a planting of seeds, and then having this pause before something can come in. But it does speak to spiritual awareness, which comes from introspection, which ultimately will create a victory. So in this, how they're experiencing ascension is that they haven't been getting that immediate gratification, those immediate results of all the work that they've been doing, and they've had to release a lot of illusion and ideas and influences from others. They've had to completely turn their back on this sort of these distractions, this sort of hoping and wishing energy versus tangible results creation energy. And just like if you are a divine feminine watching this, just as many of us experience this on this journey, you put in the work, you go through the healing, but it's not like you all of a sudden are experiencing the results right away. And so this has been a really difficult energy for the masculines to kind of have to confront and to face is, okay, well, just because I'm putting this work into this thing doesn't mean it shows up at my door right away. And it still doesn't mean that this is the right path either. But there has been a lot of trial and error in this particular energy of having to learn, okay, I have to be patient. I have to really trust that it's coming. And the only way you get into that trust is by tuning into spirit. So this energy has really moved them into spirit, moved them deeper and deeper into spirit. So now we're getting the Five of Wands clarified by the Chariot in reverse and the Four of Swords in reverse. So this is a really interesting energy. And I've personally experienced this energy. I feel like this is like the main energy of ascension. Whether you're a twin flame or not, if you're on a spiritual path, this is the energy that really stops you in your tracks quite literally and feels so deeply uncomfortable. It's when you are battling yourself, your inner demons, your ego. The Five of Wands is conflict, okay? The Five of Wands is overwhelm. And in this card in particular, it's the same woman. Okay, it's the same woman. It's not different people. It's one woman kind of battling herself. So it's that energy. It's that ego death. And because of that, you are stopped. You are not allowed to move forward. You don't really get to experience any form of success or victory until you master this, until an ego death occurs. And it's a lot of chaos and confusion until that point. And all this resistance energy, because it's a resistance of being able to move forward and you're wanting this victory and your ego just wants to keep you moving and moving, but you can't. Spirit says no, no, no. So it results in burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, frustration. So the divine masculines have been experiencing this big time. And this is actually the place where you currently are, divine masculines. This is really, I do feel, and I've been hearing this message, that you have really been surrendering to these ego deaths. So you've grown a lot in what you've been resisting. But there is still resistance, and it's mainly around what you're telling yourself, what the ego is telling yourself about your success and your worthiness. And it's really related to that financial, material world, what you have to offer. Okay, so that's what's been coming up at this time. But that is why there is a lot of exhaustion. And Mars is in Cancer. So, that Four of Swords in reverse is a Mars in Cancer sort of thing as well. Okay, what they're experiencing in Ascension, we have the Eight of Cups here. So this was a really powerful message. There has been an awareness of what they need to walk away from. And they have been called to walk away from their community, from these third-party energies, from everything in their world, in their relationships that is false. and it was most of it. So it's almost like the veil had been lifted and they recognized that the devil was in bed with them. That's just what I heard. Or that the devil was right there. They were working alongside these energies that were not for them, that were not supportive. And because of this awareness, they started to feel very isolated, very alone, very left out in the cold, very, that's a part of Ascension, feeling very alone. No one understands me. No one gets this. I have no one to talk to about it. And then it's even more devastating when you kind of are seeing this energy, this dark devil energy around you, and all you can do is walk away from it, but it's not like you get that immediate gratification or reward from walking away from it, because there's an integration period. So it's like the more you walk away from people, yeah, you might be expelling that devil energy within and without, but you're feeling very alone, isolated, right? The Five of Pentacles. So, and I know feminines, if you're watching, you can relate. You felt this as well. Also, we're getting the Ace of Cups here clarified by the Six of Pentacles. So this is an awareness of, there's been a heart opening, a heart awakening here, acknowledgement of the heart for the very, maybe not the first time, but for the first time in a while, where that has not been something that you've been willing to look at or even examine. And as you open this, you start to recognize the imbalance in your life when it comes to reciprocity and give and take. The divine masculines have been discovering that the places that they've been giving to have not been giving anything back, and the places that they've been withholding from are the things that are actually giving to them. So they've recognized this major imbalance in who and what they give to. And it's a very challenging energy. Like this, obviously the Ace of Cups can be a very positive card, as can the Six of Pentacles. But I actually feel a deep sadness. And like this woman in this card is heart exposed, head thrown back. And it's very, it kind of feels like a dark night of the soul. It kind of feels like those nights when you're just on the ground crying out to God, to spirit, to whoever's listening, like, help me. I have nowhere else to go. I don't know what to do. Help me. It's a deep, deep emotional surrender as they become aware of the community and who they've been in bed with, is the phrase I keep getting. Page of Cups clarified by the Two of Pentacles, the World, and the Eight of Pentacles. So quite a bit of energy here, but it was a really clear story for me as I started to tune into. So with this Page of Cups, it's really around this opening of another world, seen beyond the veil, seen beyond the 3D. In their ascension process, spirit has been tapping on their shoulder, and that tap has gotten louder, more insistent, okay? And it's caused them to have to come more into balance in their material worlds, completing cycles, karmic cycles, completing and ending cycles, and dropping more and more into the heart space, more and more into their senses, and being able to be aware of their environment, what's going on, versus really tuned out of the Cups energy, of the Page of Cups, because the Page of Cups can speak to like the synchronicities, the messages, the signs. And this has brought them into a deeper sense of spiritual mastery, inner autonomy, self-actualization, actually, is what I'm really hearing with this. Their connection to the other worlds, the other senses, is bringing them into balance, and it's bringing them into self-actualization and self-mastery. But it's not without difficulty here. And that's why this Two of Pentacles energy is actually something I feel that, I've been pulling this card a lot for the divine masculines, and I've been getting it in the reverse quite often. So this is it feels like a battle that they're working through at this time, of really coming into harmony and balance. And so if you haven't been, really feeling connected, divine masculines, if you haven't been feeling prepared or ready for your life, or like you can take action or move forward, it's because there's something in you that's not quite in alignment yet, and you really are going to need to work with spirit to come into harmony and balance. Once you are balanced, you will be able to move forward, because you are being called to move forward. That is the divine masculine, the emperor energy within at this time. So what is Ascension? How is this masculine's been experiencing Ascension? We're getting the strength clarified by the Queen of Cups. So this is a deeper and deeper awareness that your emotions are a strength. Your emotions are not a weakness. Your feminine, divine feminine energy within is one of your biggest strengths and allies. And as you work to embrace this energy, to cultivate this energy, to align with this energy, you realize how much stronger you actually are and how you are able to master your ego. Because the ego is that voice that wants to disconnect you from your feelings. It wants to disconnect you from your heart. Okay, it can really be that wounded masculine energy. And in this strength card, she's tamed this lion. She's tamed the beast. She's tamed her ego. She is in harmony. She is in balance. And this is where the divine masculines have been learning to pull their strength from. We are also getting the 9 of Swords. So this is that dark night of the soul, anxiety, clarified by the 10 of Wands. So in this ascension process, they've been completing their karmic cycles. And this has brought about those, like I said before, on your knees sort of experiences, like the dark night of the soul, just really crying out for help. And it's through this vulnerability, it's through this pain that the surrender is possible. So anytime you've been in this place on this journey, divine masculines, and it feels like you're just being tortured, know that it's by design. There's a very specific reason that spirit needs to get you to this place. It's so you can finally surrender. It's so you can finally put down those sticks or wands and complete this cycle. You can't, again, so many of these energies, you're going to relate whether you're a divine feminine, a divine masculine, or whether you're not even a twin flame and you're just a spiritual, traveler. These are all points of the ascension journey for all of us, okay? 3 of Pentacles, clarified by the Empress. So again, this is similar to that strength and Queen of Cups energy. This is the divine masculines recognizing that their divine feminine energy is a strength, it's an attribute, and it's something that they need to learn to work in harmony with, work together to bring it down into the material world, in their businesses, in their careers, in their finances, in their relationships. How can they embody and embrace this feminine energy within? How can they come into better balance and harmony with that energy instead of neglecting it and acting like it's a nuisance or a tolerant, or not a tolerance, not being intolerant of it. And, it hasn't been your fault, divine masculines. You were really handed these codes, and I don't want to call them codes. You were handed these templates. The masculines are handed in our society to neglect your feelings, to neglect your heart, to neglect the feminine. And if you had any sort of complicated relationships with women in your life, with your mother, girlfriends, sisters, aunts, whatever, there sometimes for divine masculines can actually be an undercurrent of hatred and rejection towards the feminine, which is why when they meet their divine feminine, because they've had these horrible karmic relationships, and that's kind of what they think relationships are. They think, the feminine energy is always manipulative. It's always going to be controlling. It's always going to be encroaching on my freedom. It's always going to be trying to hurt me, or I always have to have my guard up. I always have to be protected against it. And then when they meet their divine feminine, and they don't experience that, it's even harder to trust. It's even harder because they do project those old stories and templates on their divine feminine, and they run because it feels different, and different is definitely not safe until they do their inner work. So that's what you've been doing, divine masculine, is you've really been calling her in. You've been calling her home and saying, you're welcome here. I honor you. I embrace you. I embrace this feminine energy. And, because this is what's been going on in Ascension, it's also been giving you the recognition and the awareness of the truth of your divine counterpart connection and the truth of this divine feminine in your life, that she was never there to hurt you. All right, we are getting the King of Swords clarified by the 8 of Wands here. So this is that clarity, that truth, that discernment, that knowledge, that wisdom. It's through the struggle and the confusion and weeding through the emotions and the pain, the divine masculines have actually been able to come into clarity and knowingness around the truth and how they want to move forward, how they're being guided to move forward, how to speak with truth, how to speak in integrity. You know, this is the opposite of that Seven of Swords energy that the divine masculines were in for so much, which was deceit, you know, self-deceit, deceiving their community, deceiving others that this is who they really are, not being authentic, deceiving their feminines, you know, a lot of deceit. But this ascension has brought them deeper and deeper into their truth, into and for the masculine energy, and this is the masculine energy within all of us, it's very important for us to intellectually understand, in order, like, there's a process of learning where it hits in the heart, it hits in the body, and that's the first sort of point of contact. And then it's important for that integration process, which, by the way, divine masculines, you're in an integration right now, an integration of balance and harmonizing. So you're going through this process I'm explaining. And once they get into that integration, then the awareness, the conscious, like, mind logic awareness can drop in, which is what kings you into the King of Swords energy. And then when you have that, then the obstacles are removed and you can act and you can move forward clearly, quickly, efficiently, confidently, okay? But until that happens, there's a wishy-washiness. And that's, you know, if you're a divine feminine watching this and you're like, you know, you get frustrated with your divine masculine and how long it takes him and blah, 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 whatever, you know, we all know this journey pretty well by now. So if you experience that, know that this is why. It's because they have to get to this point, just as your masculine energy within you needs to get to a certain point before you can take that action, that committed action. Otherwise, you are taking kind of cloudy action, which can result in not being in harmony, not being in the flow, and things not working out. Delays, karma accrued, you get it. So another message here about the community, Three of Cups. So this is that third party energy. This is that the people that we surround ourselves with. It speaks to relationships. And for the divine masculines, this ascension has shown them all the conflict, all of the competitive sort of, it's not safe is what I'm hearing. Recognition of that the community is not safe, and it hasn't been safe, and the only way to feel safe in it has been to neglect the self, to pretend you are something that you are not, to not be in your authenticity, to not be in your truth. And that was your armor. And that's what kept everyone at bay until you met your divine feminine. And then you recognize, holy shit, like, I can be myself with this person. This is weird. And you tried to maintain that, and you tried to bring that back into the communities that you already had created. And then that's when the disharmony starts to occur. That's when the pain starts to occur. That's when, you know, the separation is already beginning at that point, because you cannot bring a truth and authenticity into a false and disharmonic, inauthentic environment and expect the truth and the light to prevail and to live. You cannot. And that is where this Ten of Swords comes in here. So the divine masculines of this ascension have come into awareness of this, and that was kind of what was the missing piece. That was the disconnect. And so there's a completion of this cycle of backstabbing, of them backstabbing themselves, self-deceit, self-harm, you know, putting themselves down in order to fit in with others, you know, dimming their light in order to be accepted by the community, you know, not reaching their full potential, capping themselves off with their brilliance or their light, living in the darkness, living in this devil energy. And when you're in that energy and you're harming others, you're susceptible to harm from others. It's just a cycle. And that's where the divine masculine, that's where you guys have been, really, truly. And there's an awareness now, and this is a point on ascension where you recognize the truth of these situations, and then you're finally able to complete that cycle. So a lot of double messages in here, but last message of kind of what's been going on in the ascension for them. for you guys is the Seven of Swords, clarified by the Queen of Wands. So this is the divine feminine energy, and I'm really getting a strong message here. It's your divine feminine within, but it's the meeting of this person, whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, it's whoever carries this divine feminine energy, and her authenticity, because the Queen of Wands is so authentic, so passionate, so vibrant, so alive, so her authentic self, his or her authentic self. And she comes in and she pierces through all that deception, all of this shadow, all of this trickery, all of this. She pierces through it in your community. She pierces through it in your job, in your work, whatever you're doing in your life. And she does this all by saying nothing. She doesn't even have to say a word. It's just her energy. It's just her presence that really comes through. And then the divine masculine goes into a protective, defensive mode. So he doubles down on this deception, doubles down on it, and, thinks, okay, well, you're the problem then. And there's separation, and then separation occurs because it must be this person that came in and shook everything up, and now everything's different, and now I don't know who I am, and I just got to get rid of you. When I get rid of you, I'll feel better. But then divine masculine realizes, nope, he doesn't quite feel better. And thus begins the ascension process. Thus begins the beginning of it. And it has to occur in this separation in order to recognize without her, what is left. And this is a big, big one. The Seven of Swords energy has been such a big one. So it's a recognition of the deception and the lies that they've told themselves, as well as their divine feminine, as well as others. So I will briefly mention the bottom of the deck, we are getting the High Priestess. So this is a divine feminine energy, as is, for me, this is usually spirit. This is spirit. So in our clarifying deck, spirit has been kind of the overall message that spirit is guiding you through this process, divine masculines, and the outcome is the Sun. This is the most positive card in the deck. So you are working towards your happily ever after, your abundance, the epitome of joy, completion, connection, family, love, soulmate, ascension, higher self, embodiment, all the beauty. All right, so we are going to ask that question that I did for the divine feminines in the reading I posted earlier this weekend. We are going to ask how the divine masculines can be supporting the connection at this time, how they can be supporting the divine feminines, how they can be supporting the connection. So we're going to kind of do like a mirroring reading and see what messages we get here. As always, if you're resonating with these messages, please like and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit that bell notification. That's how you know a new video comes out. Otherwise, you're just not alerted. So YouTube has a lot of weird quirks I'm learning. All right. How can the divine masculines support their divine feminines and this journey and this connection? How can they really be... Ooh. Wow. That's really beautiful. I think if you're a divine feminine watching this, you're really going to like some of these messages coming through. Okay. Let me find a deck to clarify. Oh, and look at that. Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. There you are, divine feminines. You are always in their heart. You are always, always in their heart, always with them. Okay. So the first card we are getting is the Seven of Cups. So the message here is, it's time to make a decision, divine masculines. Be clear with what you want and take action and move towards it. A need for detoxification. Okay, so this is straight from the card, the message from this deck right out the gate. A need for detoxification is standing out. And that's this period I do feel like, masculines, that you are in. You are standing up for yourself. You are standing up for this journey. And whether you know it or not, you are therefore standing up for your feminine. You are protecting this light, this beauty that you guys share. with this King of Cups energy. So we're clarifying the Seven of Cups with the King of Cups. So you stepping deeper and deeper into your emotional maturity, your emotional awareness, your emotional recognition and acknowledgement is going to allow you to make this decision. Because if you have not learned this yet on this journey, please hear this message now. If you're watching, no decisions can be made from your head. Not one. Not one productive decision will ever live in your mind. It lives in your heart. It lives in your body. Human design is one of the principles that I teach prior to kind of supporting with this twin flame journey. That was what my business was around, is coaching with human design. And human design is this beautiful modality that really helps us get back to our authentic selves. And one of the principles I love of it so much is not one person on our planet with our human design body graph, and when you look at your energy and whatever, there's not one person that's ever born that is meant to make decisions from their head. That is not where our inner authority lies. It is always, always within the body. There are many different types of authorities, so we all have different ways of making decisions, but none of us have it in the head. And I just love that. Like, it's just, you know, the head is a tool, right? It's a tool, and we have to be able to wield it properly and use it well. Otherwise, it gets us into trouble. So Divine Masculines, how do you support this journey, which is therefore supporting you? You step into your heart. You step into your emotional maturity and wisdom, and you acknowledge the truth that lives there. And from that space, you make a clear decision. You get honest about what you desire and what you want. And when you have this emotional maturity, when you're in this King of Cups energy, you will be clear and you will know how to take action. And you can take action from that place. I know we were talking about the Mars and Cancer energy, but guess what? Cancer is a water sign. So it's moving as a Divine Masculine from the heart, from the emotions. That's really beautiful. Okay, we are getting the Star. So how can you support this journey? Continue with your healing, Divine Masculine. This is Archangel Jophiel. So if you want support and you do want to start working with guides and angels, you can call on Archangel Jophiel and say, Archangel Jophiel, please bring me support and guidance at this time. I would like support in releasing my ego, in releasing the conflict in my mind, and assist me in stepping into my heart. Assist me in getting clarity from the truth, from my authenticity, from my body. And this is about believing in yourself. So you have to conquer the ego mind, Divine Masculine. So anytime you have those thoughts and those fears, how you can support this connection is release that. Release it, release it, release it. Hear it, acknowledge it, move through it, transcend it. So this is, the Star here wants to bring you all your dreams, okay? Everything that you're wishing for, it wants to come through and to be this wish fulfillment. But you have to believe in yourself. And you have to end this cycle, this Five of Wands cycle. And the Star here lets you know that it's possible, that that cycle can come to a close. It wants to come to a close. So how can you be supporting? You just keep on keeping on. Keep diligently working through your ego, your fears, your insecurities. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Oh my God. I just wanted one clarifier, but as you guys know, I tend to take all the cards that fall out. So we're getting the Sun, and this was the energy I was really drawn to when I was pulling before I started channeling, because a message came through really clearly where the Divine Feminines may be kind of in a really difficult point. I know I personally have been really in the Five of Wands energy myself, inner battles, inner conflicts, and it hasn't even been around my masculine. It's been my own shit, my own karma, my own inner battles. And many feminines have resonated. They've been here as well because I've been hearing from you guys. So masculines, how can you support the connection in your feminines at this time? You can embody the Sun energy. You can be the Divine Masculine in your strength. Sun is Father Sun. So Sun is masculine energy. So if you're in this rest and integration period, but you're not quite in the tower, darkness, wounding, pain period anymore, how can you support? Really, really embrace the Sun energy. Embrace the hope, embrace the joy, embrace the fun. Be the light for your Divine Feminine. Be the light for others. Step into that. Really, the more you can be in love and enjoyment and pleasure, the more you're going to assist your feminine in coming out of the dark energy that she's been working through. And that's honestly what she's done for you this entire journey. And as you've gotten stronger, divine masculine, and you've gone through your ascension, you are now able to carry your weight. You are able to be in reciprocity in this connection. You are able to do the work yourself. She doesn't have to do all of it. So this sun energy is being clarified by a lot of wonderful things that I'm going to get to, but I just wanted to read this card. It says, life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking, inspiring success. Yeah, so this is really like, how do you support? You conquer the negative thinking and you heal that, and you step into this positive. It's going to happen. It's going to work out. I trust my creator. I trust myself. I trust my divine feminine. We are getting there. That is the type of energy that's going to, here's our clarifiers, ground this new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles, a successful new beginning, might I add, with the Six of Wands. So this is like guaranteed success in whatever endeavor it is, grounded in the material with the Pentacles here. We're getting the Two of Wands. So in this pause before the action, before the journey gets revealed, before the moving forward, it's a pause. It's a sacred pause. And if you can honor that, divine masculines, by staying in this trust and knowing of the sun. So don't allow this little pause to get you into your Five of Wands energy, your Five of Cups energy, your defeat, your sadness, your overwhelm, your anxieties, your fears. You can help this connection by staying in the trust, staying in the knowing. That's a masculine trait, is that knowing. That inner knowing of like, I am confident, I am sure, I know. You can trust this. Sorry, I'm having some elbow tweaks. Speaking of ascension, I have weird just like body pains. Yeah, so stepping into the knowing, divine masculines. And we're also getting the 10 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like it's your turn to carry this energy, divine masculines. The divine feminines are needing it. We need your faith, we need your trust, we need your knowing, and we need your self-actualization and your mastery that you've worked so hard for. The divine feminines have been the lighthouse for a long time, and spirit is initiating you into holding this energy for your connections. So that's really beautiful. We're getting the Three of Swords here, the Three of Michael. So this is release the past. You will grow from this situation. Time heals all wounds. So I'll grab a clarifier, but it's pretty clear. Yeah, yep. It's releasing the third party, divine masculine. So the more that you release this karmic relationships, the pain of the previous, whether this is ex-partners, whether this is the childhood wounding and pain from your mom, from your dad, from your caregiver, this is the pain of the community, whatever the karmic situation is for you. For some, this is businesses, this is difficult family situations, difficult jobs, bosses, whatever, money. Release and walk away from the karma and the third party, and know without a shadow of a doubt that when you walk away from this, you will be filled with new, beautiful, bountiful blessings, opportunities, and abundance that is made for you, where this was a karmic situation made for you, but made to teach you. Release the pain. Release the need to keep healing or accruing karma. Embrace and accept that peace and abundance and joy is now. Embrace and accept, divine masculines, that the sun is here. There is no need to suffer any longer. And you release the suffering when you walk away from the people, places, things that are not for you. They're just not for you. And that's one of the biggest acts of self-love. You're not even just doing that for these connections and for your feminine. You're doing that for yourself because you love yourself enough to let go of the things that are not for you. Break your own heart. That's been a profound one for me on my journey, is like the willingness to break my own heart because I know I deserve something better. And that really does come in like this Three of Swords energy of what you have to walk away from. And you're very supported. The Three of Michael here, that's Archangel Michael. So trust that Archangel Michael is healing you. He's supporting you. He's with you every step of the way. You are not alone, okay? We're getting the Ace of Michael. Okay, so the Ace of Michael, the Ace of Swords, this is about truth. This is clarity. This is aha moments. This is breakthroughs. This is embracing it. This is new ideas. So it also says, a little message on the card is, don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. And wow, this message I did not know was going to be on the card. Clear up communication problems with others. So Divine Masculine, how can you support? Whoop, there goes the card. That's just emphasis that this is extremely important, Divine Masculines. Clear up the communication. Clear up the karma. Initiate communication. Obviously, when you're guided, when you're aligned, when the timing is right. But if you are allowing your fears, your anxieties, your insecurities, your worries, your Five of Wands, self-deprecation, financial concern, whatever it is that you are allowing to stop you from this, know that that is not the truth. The truth is the moving forward. The truth is clearing this space and clearing this energy. And you're doing this for yourself. You clear that stagnant energy. You clear that fear. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. So anything that's coming up at this time, what I'm hearing is that some of you are like, that bump is coming up and then you're like, oh crap, now I have to wait longer. Now I can't take that step forward. Now I can't let go of this person. Now I can't, this financial issue just popped up. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait longer. And Spirit has really been guiding you and saying, no. You act as if. You jump before the net appears. You act before you know for sure, and then watch how you're supported. Because that's the lesson. That's the spiritual growth. That's the ascension. That's how you learn. You learn by doing. And sometimes you really have to have that leap of faith and trust. But, I'm going to grab a clarifier, but it's pretty clear. No? Clear up the communication problems. Yeah, it's your turn is what I'm hearing, Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminines, for most on the journey, have really taken the initiative, and they've actually been in their masculine on this, which is not quite the balance, right? So what I feel like has happened in these connections is the Divine Feminine has learned a lot, and she's wanted to share her ascension journey with her masculine, or him, whatever, you guys get the gender thing, it's not about gender, wanted to come forward and share this information. And this has actually pushed the Divine Masculine into more of a feminine energy, because they don't feel in power, they don't feel in control, they kind of feel a little like taken aback, and they retreat because it's a little scary, and it causes the Divine Feminine to go even more into her masculine, because she's like in her knowing, she's in her surety, she's like, I know what this connection is, I know what I've learned, blah 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 blah, you get it. So that is kind of what's occurred. And now, Divine Masculines, it's your turn. It's your turn to come forward in your empowerment, in your truth, in your clarity, in your knowing, in your masculine. And I promise you, the energy you'll be met with your feminine, because we are always harmonizing and balancing with each other, she or he will be in their feminine. They will be receptive to you. They will receive you. They will be open. They will not be in defense. If they are your true counterpart and they are truly doing the work, which you would not be coming forward or at this point if they weren't doing their work. So they will surrender. They will kind of submit to the masculine energy in that connection. But you have to be the one to step forward. You can't be waiting for someone to do it for you. You can't be waiting for your feminine to do it, because then you'll be in that same pattern again and again. So we're getting this clarified by the Three of Wands. So it's time to take that action, to move forward with confidence. That's a Wands energy. So this is coming directly from Spirit. This is the guidance. Spirit is like, yep, it's time, masculines. And we have the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is this passionate new beginning, inspired action, inspired spark. It's knowing. It is clarity, and it's knowing. It's time to step in that energy, Divine Masculines. Okay, let's grab a clarifier for this last energy, how you can support your feminine. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I just love when they do this. Okay. So we're getting the Five of Pentacles. This is the card of separation. This is the card of being left out in the cold. This is the card of pretending like you are all alone, even though it's an illusion. So you needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. So this is getting clarified by the Queen of Swords. Divine Masculine, it is time to release those negative thoughts that are creating self-fulfilling prophecies. Stop being your own saboteur. Stop self-sabotaging yourself, your happiness, and this connection, okay? Now is the time for you to approach your Queen of Swords. And I feel that she is showing up here as the Queen of Swords because of your unnecessary anxiety and worry that she's kind of cold, that she's kind of scary, she's kind of intimidating, she's, you know, standing there on her throne, she's got her sword, she's like, you know, but this is all projection. This is your projection because she's really the Queen of Cups. Your feminine is the Queen of Cups. I mean, I don't know if you've watched our feminine reading, but you're more than welcome to go watch it and to see where she's at. And she's really in the heart. So this is all projection, and it is, how can you support these connections? Release the self-sabotaging, release these projections. Stop projecting onto the divine feminine. She is not in this space. You will not know unless you come forward. And this is what Spirit is initiating you into. This is really, help is nearby. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. It's so interesting that these messages are coming through, to be honest with you, because this is not, I wouldn't have expected such a strong, what I'm getting, to be completely honest, is I'm getting guides. So if you are a masculine watching this, your guides might be the one I'm communicating with, but I have very exasperated guides here. Guides that are almost frustrated, which is why I can actually feel myself in kind of like an anger or like a frustration. Because I'm I forget which Claire this is, but I feel that I get channeled messages through emotion and feeling. So I can feel the energy, and the energy is there's a frustration. Okay, so because I feel like your guides have been speaking to you for a while and have been giving you this nudge, it's time to come forward, and you've been ignoring it. And it's because of the projection and the self-sabotage and the fear. So there, you know, take this message if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, of course, leave it. But somebody here really has been putting this off, But what happens when you put something off that's coming from Spirit is it only grows. It only gets more and more annoying. It only gets more and more difficult the longer you wait. Okay. Okay, let's just wrap this up, Divine Masculines, with a message from the Romance Angels. I almost wanted to get a message from my other angel deck, but I think we're going to stop it here because I'm getting kind of tired and I would like to let go of this energy. This frustrating energy. I personally do my very best to not be in this energy with my masculine, and I've been successful in that. So it's uncomfortable for me to be channeling this and to be in the feeling of just like where your guides are. Your guides are like, you are so much bigger than you're giving yourself credit for right now, Divine Masculines. You have the power, you have the capability, it's time. Wow. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So this may not be about your ex, but this is release your karma. Okay? Release the fears, release the past, release the self-sabotage, release the feeling like you can't have it, release the feeling like you're not good enough, release the feeling like it happens for everybody else, but it doesn't happen to you. So this is the job, this is the person, this is the community, this is the inauthenticity, this is the mask, this is a release. You are being asked to stop resisting this death process and surrender. You're in an integration period at this time, but there still could be some resistance. I feel like there's some resistance. Wow. We're getting very soon. And this card has come up a lot in personal readings, in Divine Feminine readings. It's just come up a lot. So Divine Masculines, Spirit wants to deliver to you all of your manifestations, all of your wishes, and your wish of this connection, your wish of your Divine Feminine, your wish of true romantic fulfillment. But you have to clearly decide on what you want. You have to be clear, and you have to ask for help and then allow that help to come. Spirit wants to help and assist you, but you have to decide, and you have to let go of some of these energies we've mentioned. Yeah. I feel you guys. I feel you in my chest right now. I feel you in my heart. And I know there's fear. I know there's sadness. I know there's regret. But your divine feminine is not like the others. She is not going to scold you. She is not going to shame you. She or he is not going to condemn you. It's not going to be a fight. What I'm hearing is I feel that some of you have been so beat up in this ascension and in everything you've been going through in your karmic cleanup, and you're exhausted and you're tired and you're like, I just can't face one more person. And so you're creating this story in your head that coming forward to your feminine is going to be her and the Queen of Swords energy, which you may have experienced in karmic relationships, which you may have experienced in the world and everything that you're dealing with. You're imagining that she's going to be pissed at you because you've been kind of pissed at you. Okay, you've been down on yourself. You've been in this sort of like, how could I have done that? But your divine feminine knows the truth, and she knows that everything that happened was exactly what needed to happen to get you both to this point. She knows the truth, okay? She is not going to be in this karmic energy. That's what you really need to release and understand. Release your ex. Your divine feminine is not this toxic feminine energy. She is not the wounded feminine. She or he, I'm sorry guys, you guys know I use she or he and he because it's so much easier. But she and he, they have done their work. They have done their work, so they are not going to meet you here. And this wants to come through. And the only reason we're getting this card is because the angels, the romance angels and spirit is saying it's time. You guys are ready. And the only thing that's standing in the way or stopping you at this time is you. Okay, it's the fear, it's the self-sabotage. The bottom of the deck is honeymoon. So the blessings and the abundance want to come through, but they can only come through when you work through this and you work through everything we've kind of chatted about. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Bliss, masculines, bliss, enjoyment, love like you've never known, acceptance, unconditional love. You can do no wrong. There is nothing you can do that would have your divine feminine reject you, that would have her banish you. She doesn't want to control you. She doesn't want to manipulate you. These are all illusions in your mind that are coming from your past hurts. So until you release this, you will keep projecting onto her. You will keep seeing her as the others. But Spirit is saying, it's time to let that go, boo. Let that shit go. Okay? Wow. Okay, that was a really powerful reading. Please like and subscribe and share, and I'd love to hear how this resonates for you. If you are a divine masculine, don't be shy. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will be back again soon. We do have a new moon coming up on Tuesday, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of powerful shifts in energy. Mercury also just went into Gemini, which is a very powerful transit for these twin flame connections. So I will be back to kind of talk about some of that energy here soon. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I'm sending you all my love, sending you so much support, divine masculines. Know that we are cheering you on. We know you have we know you've got this. We believe in you. And keep going. All right. I'll see you guys soon.